And, welcome back, and I'm Wet Hamster.
I am Samaragway.
And I'm a dish person thing.
Yes, suspicious dish. Yeah, we were going to have, Oh, yes, by the way, I should probably mention the gear before Anyway, the gear, real quickly, is the saber, which is, Lunastra parts made into a longsword. Just so people know. The monster we'll be fighting today is weak towards fire, so I figured I'd make it easier on myself. Anyway.
This one is probably pretty infamous.
Infamous in some sense, and yeah, kind of infamous, yeah. But what I was going to say is we were going to have Chamaragwai, or Chamaragwai, however you pronounce it. Because I'm terrible pronouncing things, we should know. But we're gonna have him in the previous recordings, but his internet wasn't exactly working properly, so
sorry about that.
Yeah,
it's okay.
It's working better, much better.
So you might notice in Area 6 there is a round dot where I'm there's one moving and there's one stationary. Those are the monsters that I'm tracking with my armor skills.
Oh, there's a jump button in this game. I don't think I've seen that before.
Well, it's more of like a climb button.
Okay. So there's no free jumping?
No.
No, there is no free jumping.
The closest to jumping you have is if you use the sword and shield weapon, and then there's sort of like a jumping / weapon attack.
You do get swimming in the third generation, though.
Yeah, I do recall that. Basically, what I'm doing, I'm taking care of the Velocidrome ahead of time, so he will not bother me when I fight the actual monster.
The chicken beak is a Velocidrome thing?
Velocidrome?
Velocidrome, sorry, the chicken raptor.
Yeah. Yeah.
I prefer my name better.
Chicken raptor, yeah, I guess you kind of,
Rooster raptor.
Yeah, in this case. I could definitely see how you can make that resemblance with the yellow muzzle.
And the red crest.
Yep.
Well, it's more like an orange crest, but he goes down pretty quickly. He's a jump. It is what one could consider a mini boss, anyways. But getting some sweet carves in before I get too annoyed.
Velocidrome Clopless.
Velocidrome claws. Yeah, they spell things. Yeah, they.
They have a limitation on characters.
Yeah, more or less.
So you will notice one thing: the boss isn't here.
What the hell is?
Can you all guess what I am supposed to do to get the boss to appear?
I have no idea because I've never played this game.
Yeah,
and
yes.
because I don't know the first
Try.
thing about this game, my guess is going to be do the safety dance. Seriously,
no.
that's all I can figure.
Excellent. Nope. Because this is the Vespoid Queen, I have to kill its babies. I have to kill, I think it's between 20 and 30 Vespoids, so I'll be cutting most of that out. But,
I would have preferred the safety dance.
I would have preferred the safety dance as well. Another reason why this little tidbit of information of this monster, because it's the first time I fight it, so we'll have something new to say about it.
It's a bug.
It is a bug, but why it's also kind of considered infamous, I don't think it was available. I mean, I think it was first added for the PSP version and not just Monster Hunter 2. And I think it could only be gotten in like the online guild hall until Monster Hunter 2 G. That's right. That's like the expansion pack, if you want to call it that, of 2. It came out. It could only be gotten in the online guild hall. And then with the PSP version, they came out with the single-player missions too, and it was. And it's not even really considered a monster in that sense, but it's something unique and fun, I guess. So if you like killing Vespoids.
I'm curious. What is your definition of a monster?
Something big.
Monster.
Double the monster, double the fun. What? I mean,
as in they usually have classifications of different monsters, and I don't think because it's a bug, I don't think it falls in under any normal classification.
Well, there is a classification for the bugs.
Yeah, but there's no really big monsters in any of the console games.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, it's only in Freedom Unite you see like insects and scorpions and stuff like that in giant monster form.
And I'm pretty certain they're classed as in the same. I'm pretty certain they're in the same class as the
Elder Dragons?
No, not the Elder Dragons. The the Hermitors.
Carapacians?
Yeah. Yeah, I know the Scorpions at least. Possibly that giant crab as well.
Huh, I might have to check that out, just out of curiosity, once we're done with this recording session. Now I'm kind of curious.
So you're saying that monsters can only be monsters if they're big?
Generally. This one is big, but
I want you to think about ants and certain insects that can crawl under your skin. And I think you also said something about insects that eat you out from the inside. That's not a monster.
Well, that's the Kezu, which is not really an insect. It's more of a wyvern.
I don't care what you say, but just because it's not big doesn't mean it's not a monster. That's pretty scary. Come on.
Well, yeah. Monster Hunter is all about killing giant monsters.
Yeah.
We all have our giant monsters inside of us.
Oh, I guess that is true.
I wonder if they're ever gonna pull a philosophical twist.
I don't really think there's much of a philosophical twist in Monster Hunter, just in general, because there really is never any plot, at least not until Monster Hunter Tri.
I was curious about that, and I just figured that there was no plot, because it's basically all action.
It is... Monster Hunter 1 and 2 is pretty much all action. I think Third Portably is more or less all action. Its first try where they do some plot. Hell, even the MMO is just all action.
Alright.
Oh yes, that's right. They made an MMO of this. Actually, I would totally play it if it wasn't JP onery.
I don't know. It seems like you can make a fun concept out of multiplayer like this, especially with an MMO thing like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this seems like the kind of game that would lend itself to
like
that.
Multiplayer in. Oh, your connection's breaking there up, but I'm sure I'll hear that in post.
Sorry.
But what I was gonna say is pretty much multiplayer. You can get more or less the same experience just by playing the console games with multiple people.
Okay.
The only difference is there is a lot more monsters, better gear, etc., in the MMO. And
I'm just gonna say this looks pretty patterny as a boss.
This boss, the reason why it's not really considered a proper monster is just because I think it has like two attacks that just repeats.
Yeah.
Either it'll spit at you and debuff you, like removing all your armor, or it'll try and sting you. That's pretty much all it does. The biggest danger probably comes from all the tiny millions of little Vespoids flying around that'll probably paralyze you.
So the infamy is just because of continuity errors, not because it's difficult, is what you're saying?
Yeah, something like that, yeah. And you see that little blinking icon with a shield with a blue arrow down?
And it's blinking to a torch with a red house inside of it.
But basically, if I get touched while I have this debuff on, yes, cat abuse. I love it. But if I get touched now, I will take massive amounts of damage.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is the only thing that's scary about this monster.
And what's that yellow cracked bowl next to it?
That's actually an eye icon.
That means the monster is seized.
That's
Think
an
of
eye?
it as like a reptile eye, where they have a slitted eye.
Have any of the artists in this game ever seen an eye?
Well,
seriously.
it's an eye. It's a tiny icon. Give it a minute. Anyway, it basically indicates that the monster is now aware of your presence.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're having a couple of audio issues. Again, people will hear it fine in post since we're actually using audio.
If you want me to overdub some audio in post, just let me know.
Nah, we're good. And, Best Boy Queen goes down pretty quickly.
Bye-bye.
Boxy Brown takes down the brown boxy monster.
Yeah, and it's even twitching.
Yep. Look at those polygons.
Yeah. Actually, you know, considering it's like a little handheld console, it's pretty good graphics.
No, it's not, but I'll let you have your illusion, but...
For the PSP, yeah, that's pretty good graphics.
This is like worse than PS1 graphics. This is like Sega CD style graphics.
No, actually, this is very... Well, I stretch out the video so people can see what's going on, so that's why the graphics slightly worse.
What are you doing?
But I'm getting paralyzed over and over again.
Wonderful.
And they're stinging me, but luckily I am immune to damage once the quest complete thing goes.
Stupid bugs.
I'm letting the Best Boys have their fun while I'm watching the bug twitch.
Do you get hurt while paralyzed at all, or?
While I'm paralyzed, the monster can just stomp on me all at once, and I'll just keep taking damage as long as I'm paralyzed, and as long as it's stomping on me. Getting paralyzed sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it gets you killed.
If you get hurt after the mission sort of is over, does that still affect?
No, you don't take any damage after the mission's over.
Oh, okay.
But we're getting to the end of the video, and we will see you next time.
That time remaining counter lies, by the way.